Good morning and welcome to P&B Morning Show on Politics and Business Television Abuja. I am your host, and today we are looking at two critical issues of shaping Nigeria's future: how we spend our money and how we protect our children. First, lawmakers have mandated a full e-government procurement system by 2026. This move, driven through the National Assembly and the Bureau of Public Procurement, is aimed at bringing transparency and accountability to public spending. If properly implemented, a digital procurement system could reduce corruption, speed up contract processes, and ensure better value for taxpayers. But the big question remains: will the political will and infrastructure match the ambition? Then we turn the urgent challenges of malnutrition in Nigeria. According to UNICEF, millions of Nigerian children suffer from stunting and severe acute malnutrition. This is not just a health issue, it is a development crisis. A malnourished child today could mean a less productive adult tomorrow. So this morning, we ask, can better governance and transparent spending translate into better outcomes in health and nutrition? Are we ready to prioritize the well-being of our most vulnerable citizens? It's governance and human development side by side this morning. Stay with us. The conversation begins. I am Omike Joseph Matthew, and as always, Chidi Kenneth is here.
Good morning, OJ.
Good morning to you.
Like I always say, you look so good all the time. I can see I'm blushing. All right, good morning, viewers. Once again, you're welcome to Politics and Business Television here in the city of Abuja. Please stay tuned.
All right, so we have a whole lot for you this morning. Abuja will be shut down this evening from 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock. That's according to the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory,
Mr. Project.
You call him Mr. Project, right? All right. Yes, Wiki has directed that from 6 o'clock this evening. So from 8 o'clock, I beg your pardon, 8 p.m. tonight to 6 p.m. tomorrow evening, there will be restrictions of movement. Why? The elections.
Abuja decides.
Yes, so Abuja will decide. The council polls will, come up tomorrow, and of course, everything has been done. And you'll be telling us what actually transpired yesterday. Yesterday, of course, is the last day of the campaigns, right?
Yes.
You have something to tell us about that?
Yes, OJ, I have a lot to tell you. But let me just make it short. Yes. As the word sounds, the last day of the election
of the campaigns.
Of the campaign, sorry to say, the campaigns lasted up to 10 p.m. 9 p.m. Sorry, you could see everybody coming out, all the political parties, ADC, PDP, and their supporters. In fact, some people were saying that they have a lot of APC governors in Abuja. In fact, this is the most keenly contested in the history of FCT, council elections.
Yes, yeah.
This is the most keenly contested.
Yeah, the keenly contested and the most
vibrant.
I don't know the word to actually use now. An election that actually attracted some nationals
and interest.
Yes, interest from governors.
Yes.
And you begin to ask, the last election I covered, the last election 2022.
Yes.
It didn't attract this kind of attention.
The atmosphere is charged.
Yeah, but this time around, some governors are even talking, senators are talking.
We're talking about former vice president,
former
governors,
presidential,
former presidential aspirants,
the candidates
going out to the streets up to 9 p.m. OJ. I'm talking of 9 p.m. with little or no security. Going to the nook and crannies of every corner, every nook and cranny of this city, campaigning from Buhari to Abaji to Gwagwalada to Gwarimpa to Fibakasa to Gosa to Kabusa to Waru to Wasa to Nyanya to Karo, everywhere to Orozo. OJ, someone said something like this. Said, please, when you see any of these candidates, I don't want to call the name of the candidate. They said, when you see that candidate, please help me shake him. I'm sure you know the candidate I'm talking about. That we should help him shake him for giving everybody run for their money, because Before now, you just see the campaign is just low key,
Yeah,
and a few posters.
It appears like done and dusted.
Yeah, done and dusted.
But for the first time, we saw an incumbent chairman
sitting up,
you know, having a billboard,
everywhere,
advertorial.
He has a lot of strong contenders. There's a guy from the ADC, they call him Dr. Mo. There's another one again from SDP. People are firing down, hitting up the whole place, canvassing for votes, going to Karimu, Gwagwa, Jiwa, Day. People are pushing everywhere. Wow. OJ, tomorrow, if we have any voter apathy, then there's a need for questioning.
All right, INEC has come out to say that they are expecting about 1.6 million Abuja residents to vote tomorrow. That's a huge number.
Yes,
that's a huge number as far as Abuja is concerned.
Yes,
so
very huge.
Just imagine that we have a full turnout tomorrow. That means we are expecting nothing less than 1 million people coming out to vote tomorrow. If what you are saying is anything to go by, considering the massive campaign by all the parties, particularly the three parties, the PDP, the APC, the ADC, you understand? And, the awareness, the political awareness by these these parties, and they should translate to people coming out tomorrow to vote.
Yes, talking about parties and their campaign strategy, I also want to commend ADC because it's not quite long they came into the limelight, and trust me, they were able to saturate the whole place. Vigorous campaign, people coming out in mass.
It appears their presence has actually woken up other parties.
Yes, more or less. At some point, we're seeing that we don't have any opposition. And opposition
is between the PDP or APC.
The PDP is virtually not too that at the front burner as we speak right now. But we saw a party, coming up and presenting itself as an opposition, which is beautiful for democracy.
Yes.
Because at some point, the whole place was looking allegedly like a one-party state. Where we have it's a particular political party having close to 30 governors. But now we can see people coming out to say, no, we are here. We can still oppose. We can still query certain things. Not everything you say matters. Whatever you are doing, we are equal to the tax. So that's beautiful democracy, competition. That's the beauty. So it avails us opportunity to make choices.
All right. So the council poll comes up tomorrow, and of course, the Federal Capital Territory Minister, Nyesom Wike, in a broadcast yesterday said restrictions begins from 8 p.m. tonight, and it will last till 6 p.m. tomorrow. Why 6 p.m.? Quickly before we go to our next segment, the newspaper review. Why should restrictions be there from 8 p.m. to 6 p.m.? That is, you shut down the Abuja for 24 hours. That's what it means.
Well, he's the minister.
Why not 3 p.m. or something?
Well, he's the minister, but let's be very hopeful that the whole idea is for the betterment of the Abuja citizens.
No, but me, I expect that. See, in other climes, election will go on. Economic activities are not shut down. I'm looking forward to the day Nigeria will become like that. Go to Israel, go to even the UK and all that. Election days, people go to work.
That is why OJ.
You understand? But here you have to shut down everything.
OJ, that is why you see the manual approach towards electoral process is becoming. It's a cake. Those countries you just mentioned have advanced. People can vote from their houses. People can be trekking on the street and just pop up the app and then click the candidate of their choice. While you are working, even right on your phone, you know who's winning.
Okay. So
you see here, we are still struggling to pass even the Electoral Act. We are still struggling. We are still saying, no, it has to be e-transmission versus,
manual transmission.
These are the issues.
Okay. So, and again, today it's work-free day. So I know the civil servants...
smiling, even schools.
Yes, everything has been shut down right now in the FCT. No work, no school today. And it appears the weekend will be so long.
Oh, well, long. And
so long. You have today, you have tomorrow, you have, oh my God. It's okay, but for us, we are here.
Well, we our kind of job, OJ.
Yeah, we have to be
we
here.
Don't leave no transfer.
Don't leave no transfer. Let's go for a quick break, and the newspaper review is next. right, you're still watching the P&B Morning Show right here on Politics and Business Television, Abuja. It's time now for the newspaper review, and let's begin the review with the Punch newspaper. Federal government, states, local governments allocation may increase by 15 trillion naira. Tinubu's executive order, FG, states, LGs, allocation may increase by 15 trillion naira. Check out page 2 of the Punch newspaper for this story. Now, the writer says President moves to channel oil proceeds directly to Federation accounts. NNPC, NUPRC, NRC revenues affected. So these are the three major agencies that the new executive order will be affecting, to surely affect their finances. So for details of this story, all you need to do is to check out the Punch newspaper this morning. Naira hits 2-year high at 1,345 naira per dollar. Naira hits 2-year high at 1,347 naira per dollar. Very quickly, Chidi, your reaction to the forex exchange. Now, in 2 years, this is the highest that the naira has appreciated against the dollar. And two major industrialists in this country have projected that, look, before the end of the year, the naira will be exchanging will appreciate against the US dollar. That we might see a situation where it will be 1,000 naira. So with this improvement, what do you have to say?
Well, OJ, like I said yesterday, that these two industrialists shows that the way the economy is being run is a capitalist economy. You know, few hands and few individuals who are big players in the finance sector, and industrialists, as you said, are the ones coming out to project, tell us, okay, what's going on, because they understand the financial trends and how it works. Now, having said this, saying that naira, this is the highest hike of the increase in naira or the devaluation of naira in 2 years is correct. In fact, I'm even surprised that we're in 1,350. At some point, OJ, I told you my personal experience where I had somebody sent me $1 and $100 and I went to change it at the rate of 750 naira per dollar. And just 2 days after, the dollar went up to 1,000.
And before you know, 1.5 and all the
close to 1,009.
Yeah, it went up to 1,000.
In fact, there was this skit maker, I've forgotten his name, that did a comedy skit, where he was making a phone call and wanted to say somebody wants to buy $1 from him. He said 1,003 per dollar. And before he dropped the phone call, another phone call came in. He said hello, and he said, well, what is it? They said, now 1.5 now. And that was how the phone call kept coming until it rose to 1,009. Even though it was funny, it was humorous, but he was trying to pass a message across that the rise in dollar, especially last year, 2025, was beyond control. At some point, I was wondering what's going on. It was almost hitting 2,000, and well, coming down to 1,350, well, is a welcome development. We do hope that the projections of those big players will come to pass very soon.
Okay, so other stories on the Punch newspaper very quickly before we go to our next paper. Banditry, CDS, Kwara governor rally troops as Operation Savannah Shield begins. Banditry, CDS, Kwara governor rally troops as Operation Savannah Shield begins. FG defies 70% 2023 capital budget to 2026. I think 2025, I beg your pardon. FG defies 70% of 2025 capital budget to 2026. So differing, the last year's budget to this year tells you that the implementation was very, very poor. And before they will now start implementing that of 2026, so I just don't know how
they need to finish the one of 2025. In fact, we are hearing that even the 2026 one is still is facing 26% deficit already.
Yes. Okay, so let's go to our next paper this morning to quickly review the paper for you. We have the Guardian newspaper with this headline: how Oldest presidents tighten grip on youngest continent. African leaders, how oldest presidents tighten grip on youngest continent. So to get the gist of this headline, of course, you have to get the Guardian newspaper this morning. Quickly, talking about the African continent, whereby we have the old guards not willing to go, you know,
what we call the sit-tight syndrome.
Yes, sit-tight syndrome. We have that in countries like Zimbabwe,
Cameroon.
in Cameroon, in Gabon, some countries like that are having these leaders who are up to 80, 90 years still, trying to change the constitution for them to still remain there till perhaps
even 70 years.
They go
OJ,
to beyond.
even 70 years is for me, it's too old.
But we have a situation, even Nigeria here.
Yes.
Even Nigeria here, I think we'll still make do with some persons, or our own president will be over 70 for some time. For some time. Maybe from,
you're even talking
from
about
2030 something. That's when we might be having younger.
And we have signed it into law. Where we have the opportunity
not too young to
not too young to rule.
Not too young to. Is it
not too young to rule?
To rule, or
somebody said we are the future, we are the leaders of tomorrow, and that tomorrow is yet to come.
The young ones are getting older.
The young ones are getting older.
At some point now, people like us now will be old.
Well,
we'll
OJ, I'm not aware.
You are not aware.
I'm not aware. But you see, OJ, it calls for serious concern.
Honestly,
because you see, when you look at the array of personalities in the Senate, for example, I was looking at the plenary one day, and I was looking at the senators, and I was trying to see somebody within the age bracket of 40 to 45. I couldn't find one.
No, come on. Let's talk. Why will you? In the Senate, all over the world, the Senate is for the matured minds.
I know.
It is the upper chamber. So there is nothing is wrong if in the House of Rep. You should look at the House of Rep first now. You have people who are over 60 years in the House of Rep. You are not even complaining about that. You are talking about
I'm still going there.
You understand?
I need to start from the top.
We should be saying 25-year-old House of Rep member.
OJ, the current president of Senegal is 42 or 43 thereabouts.
Yes, we know.
The president of Burkina Faso is less than 40 years.
Even Macron of France, he became a president in his 30s.
We've had,
Obasanjo
was 38 years old when he was the president of Nigeria, head of state.
Gowon was 32. So
Gowon was 32.
We've also had
Jonathan was in his early 50s.
No, we also had young people becoming our leaders in the past. Okay,
that has not done well.
Why will you say they've not done well?
Well, we had a governor in this country at some point in a particular state I would not want to mention that was adjudged to be one of the worst governors.
As a young,
and he was very young.
Okay, as a young man, right?
Yes. So you see,
depending on
why am I trying to make this?
On which school of thought you are coming from?
Let me explain the school of thought.
Yes.
What my point is this: you mentioned something that the House of Senate is supposed to be a collection of senior citizens.
Yes, senior citizens.
But I have come to discover that in this time and age where we find ourselves, where someone can be 45 and be a senior citizen by the way he reasons. Sometimes this age is, even though we respect it in this part of the world, culturally, we must understand that sometimes wisdom too does not have respect.
Yeah, I understand.
Very quickly, before young people doing badly, we've seen old people not even respecting the gray hair.
Yes, I understand.
Taking decisions that sometimes, even as a son, I look at them and some people and I'm like, what's going on? Even where I live, OJ, where I live now, I have senior citizens taking decisions that are very laughable. And I ask myself, what's going on? What hope do we have with the young ones coming up? If a man of 70, 75 years will see red and say, no, it's pink.
Okay, so for the African continent, that is the reality. We just have to face. We just hope that in the near future, let's say in 10 years time or so, all this present predicament, I call it predicament, will begin to go away gradually. in Cameroon.
And make way for people like
yes, and make way for the younger the younger generation. And let's move on with the Guardian quickly. I think we have some other stories before we go to our next paper. Yes, U.S. troops deployment to fight insecurity in national interest, so says House of Representatives. So that's to tell you that the House of Rep is supporting U.S. troops in the country. So check out that story in the Guardian. Reps to vote on a 1999 Constitution Amendment proposals. Reps to vote on a 1999 Constitution Amendment proposals. That's an interesting one there.
So we are still amending the Constitution.
Yes. Opposition CSOs kick as Electoral Act Amendment widens 2027 fault lines. Yes. Opposition CSO kick as Electoral Act Amendment widens 2027 vote lines. Okay. So tomorrow is the litmus test for INEC to test run the new electoral bill. So that's some of the stories coming from the guidance. So many. We have Senate Grill's economic team considers trimming 2026 budget and retract executive order. Pengasin tells Tinubu warns on threat to PIA. That's a big argument there. Let's quickly touch on that before we go to our next paper. Now, the executive order, the new executive order on the issue of revenues from the oil sector coming directly to the federation account, and you heard the Punch newspaper talking about the allocation of local governments might increase by 15 trillion naira as a result of this executive order. Now, the argument from the president is that let the people enjoy first before we talk about these agencies. Now you see Pengasin now threatening because it's going to affect them. It is their stomach. So what he's saying is that this money is meant for the Nigerian people,
not for some individuals.
Yes. Now, for instance, let's take the NNPC as an example. This, the NNPC, the money that NNPC generates, the money that they generate, they cut 30%. They cut 30%. This 30% out of the revenue they generate is for their own use. For whatever charges, whatever they'll say for maintenance, for this, for that they're exploring
for the internal running of the organization.
Yes, for the internal running of the organization. We all know how the NNPC is being run. But the president say enough is enough. Now, this money should go. You understand? So now this is going to affect NNPC finances, but not much because they are now a company.
And it's going to benefit the people.
But now it's going to benefit the people. I'm not like speaking for the president. But that is the argument. Let this money come to the federation account and this money disbursed to the states and the local government so that developments can happen. Not this institution saying that, if you take away this thing now, we are not going to have enough money to run our businesses anymore.
LJ, you see, the local government is the lowest of the 3 tiers of government.
Yes.
And it's adjudged to be the government that is closer to the people.
To the people, yes.
So if they have more funds, more so that we have local government autonomy now, where they receive their federal allocation directly, not from governors anymore. But that's a beautiful one. And I want to commend the president for that bold initiative. You see, it's high time we unbundle some of these organizations and begin to dig deep how they run their, our, collective, revenue. You see, why would somebody be crying foul when decisions like this? You see, it's been taken. I keep telling people that to fix this country, we need a president that can stand and take bold decisions, the political will, regardless of the cries and worries of people. Look at such a beautiful, initiative, and somebody is coming out somewhere to say,
because it will now affect their pockets now.
Is it about
that this Pegasus? I'm not trying to castigate them. I know they are also our brothers and sisters who are working in the oil sector. The oil sector also needs to survive. We know. Because now there are some reports that jobs will be lost because if NNPC does is losing money from somewhere, they might say, look, we need to retrench workers and all that, and some other the upstream agency and some other agencies where who will be losing
OJ,
money. I know, but the issue is that how many are they?
OJ,
How many are they? We're talking about the Nigerian people.
These are, for me, these are frivolous excuses. The most important thing is that let the local government work.
Let the money reach the Nigerian people.
Yes,
coming from the local government.
When you talk about the Nigerian people,
yes,
you are talking about the local
government. Yeah, you're
but
right.
however, we also need to add this. We do hope that when this initiative is being actualized, the local government chairman to also use the fund judiciously.
No, see,
that's another question.
No, that's
it's one thing to have the funds.
Like I was speaking. It's
another thing for the funds to translate to the dividends of democracy.
Yes, I was speaking to
the people,
to a senior colleague in this in our own industry, in the media landscape, and he said, and he's an advocate of local government reform and what have you. He said, look, the argument of if too much money is go to local government, they are not going to use it. And he said, look, that is a frivolous kind of excuses. That first, let the money go now. Let the local government chairman get this money and misuse it. You understand? That it is left for ICPC and EFCC to deal with that.
Apart from the ICP and EFCC, one of the most sensitive elections is the local government election. Because the people know you.
They know you.
They know you.
Yes.
They can assess you.
Yes.
Because that is grassroots politics.
It's a grassroots.
So if you siphon their money, the people can come after you directly.
And even said, no matter how a local government chairman want to siphon money or want to embezzle money, when this money, that you will still see some tangible development. That you will still see some, no matter how corrupt that person will be, there is something you show.
Especially, that the healthcare system, community healthcare system, schools, primary schools and the rest of them, motor parks, transport systems.
Not the situation we have now where the monies are not going there. The governor give them money to just pay overhead costs, like pay the workers and all that, and then they go and sleep. But when this money is being, like this executive order now, it's now in effect. It's now in effect. You understand? It's now in effect, and they will have about 15 trillion naira will be generated to be distributed among the three tiers of government. And next week they are meeting, so we expect to hear increase.
I think it's a welcome development, truly, because even if you look at by extension, even the agricultural sector will grow.
Yes,
because if you talk about the farmers, who are the farmers?
Most
of them are
the rural areas.
Yes, they fall within the cadre of the local government area. So that's why they find
definitely you find somebody kicking when it
is normal.
It's normal. Somebody kicking when a policy is not favoring him or her. Understand? So Pegasus, we know you will kick, and before you know that, will be threatening strike. They can go to strike. No wahala.
Well, I trust this.
So the PIA they are trying to use as an excuse. Let the presidency amend that part of the law that will justify why this executive order was taken, because the reason for this executive order is for the purpose of improving the lives of the ordinary Nigerian.
Exactly.
And I support the president.
15 trillion to local governments?
Yes.
That's
additional.
15
trillion naira will be
as against the form, the existing one.
The existing one, yes.
And then development at the grassroots. It's a welcome.
You will see, you will begin to feel it.
Yes.
It will be you feel it on the air.
This rural urban drift will reduce.
It will reduce.
People don't need to come from the village. Everybody wants to be in Abuja.
Must be in Abuja.
When you have good roads, you have electricity, you have good schools, you have good hospitals.
Yes.
What are you coming to Abuja to do? And the whole place will be decongested.
Yes.
So it's a welcome development.
All right, so let's quickly move to our next paper. I think we'll really dwell on the
because it's a very important one.
It's a very important one, of course. The Vanguard. Yes, the Vanguard carries this headline: Edun raises alarm over rising debt service burden. Edun raises alarm over rising debt service burden. Okay, Edun. The finance minister raising alarm over states borrowing. Well, it's a resource of concern actually. From him. So, well, for that story, check out the Vanguard news.
And after borrowing, you see the next thing, EFCC is inviting 1 or 2 persons, and I keep asking, where is money? You see, you borrow, we don't have problem borrowing, but when you borrow, every country borrows, but when you borrow and we see good infrastructure, OJ, we don't have a problem.
The problem is the way...
after borrowing, you see a former governor will now be chased after by EFCC to collect 400 billion.
Yes.
And I'm asking, is that why you borrowed that money?
Because they are not judiciously, used. I think that is the reason. Okay. Of course, the all right. We have the other stories coming from the Guardian. Other stories not coming from the Guardian. I mean, let's look at other headlines. I beg you.
Yes.
A disturbing one coming from KB State. Terrorists killed 34 fasting Muslims in latest KB attack. Terrorists killed 34 fasting Muslims in latest KB attack. 2027 Electoral Act amendment was credible, inclusive, NAS. Electoral Act amendment was credible, inclusive, NAS. Okay. Drivers operating under influence will be prosecuted. Drivers operating under influence will be prosecuted. Lagos government. Okay, it's all good.
It's a good one, OJ. It's a good one. It's a good one. I like that. I like that headline. Yes, it's becoming a very serious concern in Lagos, especially in Lagos State. I know there was a time there was this attempt to ban sachet
alcohol.
Alcohol. You see, when you go to Lagos, OJ, I was in Lagos December last year, and every bus driver, including what we call the conductors or the motor boys, you will see both pockets sachet alcohol, and they will be sipping it while driving.
No minding.
Buses that I'm talking of, buses that are ricketing. Look at the tires. There was one I saw. I had to snap that tire. I said, this kind of bus can't run in Abuja. You could literally see the iron,
the rim,
the iron wires.
Okay.
Of the tire itself.
The tire. Okay.
Popping up, seeing it, and it's in front where the engine is, and the bus is moving at 120 speed.
Anything can happen in Lagos. Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on quickly to our next paper on review this morning. The Nigerian Tribune. CSOs, ADC, Kwankwasia, kick over Electoral Act 2026. CSOs, ADC, Kwankwasia, kick over Electoral Act 2026. Flaws in law will undermine electoral integrity, exclude millions of Nigerians. CSOs, as one of the writers, want INEC to publish reverse 2027 election timetable. ADC faults presidential assent, claims action hasty. And the Kwankwasia movement also with their own complaints there. Now, CDS Army Chief flag off Operation Savannah Shield in Kwara. Abdurazak commends Tinubu. Okay. Oshun splits. Oshogbo, Iwo, Ibadan Road to 3 contractors for timely completion. Oshun splits. Oshogbo, Iwo, Ibadan Road to 3 contractors for timely completion. So that's a infrastructural development story, coming from the Tribune this morning. In the health sector, we have this headline coming from the Tribune. Pre-competition sex can actually boost athletic performance, according to study. And so to check out that, you go to the Tribune this morning. Naira seen extending gains as African currencies hold steady. Naira seen extending gains as African currencies hold steady. So it appears that it's not just the Naira that is appreciating against the US dollar or other world currencies these days. So that's really good. Pengassim faults Tinubu's executive order, says it's direct attack on PIA's provision. We think we'll dwell on that some moments ago. Rivers Assembly halts impeachment of Fubara deputy. Rivers Assembly halts impeachment of Fubara deputy. It's okay. Gunmen attack Ondo community, killed monarch. Gunmen attack Ondo community, kill monarch. That's a sad one there coming from Ondo.
Sad indeed. Sad indeed.
So, do we still have another, paper to quickly review this morning? Perhaps our very last for the day, the Daily Independent. NCATs dormant P737 simulator cost millions in maintenance. NCAT's dormant P737 simulator cost millions in maintenance. This, coming from the how do they call it? The airspace, talking about aircraft and all that this morning, coming from the Daily Independent. Okay, and we also have this story: federal government or FG moves to sanction contractors involved in fiber cable cuts. FG moves to sanction contractors involved in fiber cable cuts. Now, let's talk on this very quickly. This issue of fiber cable cuts. I see some technicians who you see by the roadside in Abuja, in particular, you see them tempering, these fiber cables. You begin to wonder if these are genuine technicians or genuine engineers, tempering. So it appears that some of them cut these fiber cables. I don't know. For federal government to come out this morning to say they will sanction, such people. Have you witnessed
yes,
such
OJ,
persons?
you see, last week we talked about, what was this road? Is it the Calabar Lagos road, where we had issues for people going to vandalize, government properties, as it were. And I keep wondering, I ask, now you are demanding for the dividends of democracy, and here we are, government is trying to bring the dividends of democracy to the people, and you are going there to vandalize it. Now, the question I want to ask these technicians in the first place: were you not paid? They were paid to do a job. Why are you going back to vandalize it?
No,
even though you are not paid.
And sell the cables.
Well, cut and sell for what reason? Okay, let's assume you were not paid. Is that the best way to go about it? Let's assume I'm not holding brief for them. Now, this is a criminal act, and it should be condemned. Looking at it, there was a time where the manholes were being stolen in Abuja.
Yes.
Where that covers the drainages. And I like what the Minister of FCT did, Yeson Wike. First of all, he decided to block all the scavengers markets, where we call the pantakers. Blocked everywhere. There was one big one close to where I live, my area, Apo there. It was completely blocked, no buying, no selling, for over a month. And OJ, guess what? In my vicinity, in my area, at least vandalization and stealing of all this generator and gas cylinder reduced drastically.
Yes, because if you steal, where would you
go there to sell it?
Nowhere to sell anymore.
Yeah, nowhere to sell, nowhere to even buy.
And then this report is also talking about contractors, talking about road contractors, people who are building our roads, who will be cutting cables anyhow. You understand? Now you know that, okay, yes, you are supposed to expand the road in this area, and there are cables being laid there. Why not call these telecom companies to come and rearrange them or something like that? I don't. You understand? But they now use their equipment to cut these cables, and that's why we're having all these network problems.
Yes,
here and there. So
it's
also a problem.
It's also a problem. You see people trying to expand. And it's maybe trying to expand the road, and trying to add more value to a particular community, and they destroy other things at the expense of other, robbing Peter to pay Paul. And some of these things without following due process.
Yes. Now you cut all these cables. Now these companies still have to come back and relay
the cables
again, and it's costing
instead
them
of
more.
Coming to a round table where both companies can sit down and see how they can manage situations like that. And it's serious. And sometimes when these cables are being vandalized, it gives room for vandals, and, what we call these pedestrian thieves to come in the night and, steal these things. Let me give you an example. When you are going through the road from Airport Junction down to Galadima roundabout, there was a time, when these street lights were newly mounted. OJ, in less than 1 month, a lot of them got missing. A lot of them. And I was interviewing somebody, said in the night you see boys who come with all kinds of things to cut it off. Sometimes
with vehicles, even
vehicles,
to carry them away.
When some of these big trucks want to try to reverse, they just hit it out and they drive out.
They
now another company owns that truck, destroying the work of another company. And this is not nice, you know. We should start holding people accountable. And even in the law, the person that bought, you know, stolen goods, good, stands a better, stronger punishment, stiffer punishment than even the seller.
Yes.
The person that stole the product. So
because you are an accomplice.
Yes, and if you stop buying stolen goods, people will stop stealing.
People stop stealing. Okay, we'll be going for a quick break. When we return, we'll look at the one of our major issues to discuss this morning. You're watching the P&B Morning Show. All right, welcome back to the P&B Morning Show right here on Politics and Business Television. So this morning, we'll quickly dive into a major issue that we really want to discuss. That's the issue of procurement. Lawmakers mandate full e-government procurement system in 2026. And of course, based on recent reports, several initiatives are underway to mandate a full e-government procurement system in Nigeria by 2026, that is this year, aimed at enhancing transparency and reducing corruption in public spending. Now, key developments regarding the full implementation of the e-government procurement system in 2026 include NDDC automated procurement. Now, the Niger Delta Development Commission, the NDDC, has announced plans to fully automate its procurement processes by the end of the first quarter of this year. Of course, we're already in the first quarter of the year. So, National E-Government Plan that's following a 2025 directive from the Bureau of Public Procurement, that's the BPP, for all ministries, departments, and agencies to transition away from hard copy submissions. The focus is on a complete digital first system by 2026. Now, the 2026 budget focus. Now, lawmakers, including those in the Senate Committee on Appropriation, are pushing for higher transparency in the 2026 appropriation bill, ensuring the fiscal framework support digital accounting spending. So the context of the reform, the move is part of the renewed hope agenda to booster public procurement standards with a focus on cutting out ghost contractors and ensuring value for money in public projects. Now, there is the issue of certification that was made recently. Now, this certification is to what? To support the transition. About 2,100 professionals have been certified by the Nigeria Professional Certification Program to manage the new digital system. So these efforts are aimed at aligning Nigeria's procurement system with global best practices in this year, 2026. So this is what we want to really discuss, the issue of e-procurement in our system. Now, yes.
Okay.
Chidi.
Yes.
The issue of procurement before now used to be like an elitist thing. Okay, like an elitist thing. But it's no longer an elitist thing. Now, the way we spend money we spend money on public infrastructure in Nigeria is what the current administration is trying to change.
Yes.
Okay, so if you want to procure as a public procurement officer, in any of the government agencies, departments, and what have you.
Yes.
The issue of manual, trying to say, okay, maybe for instance, they want to construct a road, maybe here in our vicinity, to say this thing costs this thing costs that. Trying to write all your costs, on paper. It's no longer.
OJ, I'm not even patient to wait for you to tell me.
Yes, go ahead and talk
because
about
this is one topic. Excuse me.
Yes.
First and foremost, I want to commend this government for this bold initiative again. This is an attempt to mop up leakages. Because when we're talking about e-procurement, we're talking about electronic procurement.
Yes.
This action will definitely reduce a lot of forgeries, fraud. Because in the time past, we've had issues where a lot of monies are being spent unaccounted for. And that was why some of us, or some Nigerians, were against the addition of the manual transmission of results too. It's in line with it. Everything should be electronics. Because anything controlled manually can be manipulated easily.
Yes. And that is where we have ghost contractors. I think it's like gone are the days when I remember those days when you see somebody on the road and you ask, what kind of job is it? I'm a contractor.
I'm a supplier.
I'm a supplier. I'm a contractor. Yeah. Yes, your office. They don't have office.
But they have. They've even branded it more to I'm a consultant.
Yes.
And it's not even like it's part of what you read here. You talk, a lot of companies have been certified.
Yes.
So you must have the prerequisites. You must have the qualification to even be part of any e-procurement, as against man-to-man approach of doing things.
Yes, those days you see somebody who is occupying an office and you are a so-called contractor because he knows you like you said, man-to-man. It's okay. Go and bring your. How do they call it in?
Do you have any registered company?
Do you have a registered company?
Just look for one name, call a lawyer.
Yes, and quotation.
Bring quotation.
Bring your quotation. You understand? You go something that is 1,000 naira. You say it's 3,000 naira or even 5,000 naira. That's how to quote all these things.
And exaggerate a lot of figures.
Exaggerate a lot of figures.
Now let me tell you, OJ, one of the things this e-transmission is going to do for us is the fact that we are going to trace whoever is going. E-transmission is going to trace even the owners of the companies, the certified companies.
Yes.
So these days, giving contract to your cronies and your girlfriends and your brothers and your cousins who are not qualified is going to stop.
It's just like
because you'll be profiled properly.
Yes, it's just like the ongoing projects in the Abuja, Kaduna ongoing project, where a section of the road is actually given to a company that has no experience in road construction. That Adams Oshomole, Senator Adams Oshomole rose the issue when the Minister of Works came for the budget hearing. That you gave a portion of the road to a company that is into generator sales. Can you remember?
I don't remember.
Just
imagine, OJ, just imagine someone who sells generator coming to construct road.
Yes.
I don't know the kind of road you want to construct. You see, we just muddle things up. And that is why I am a believer of anything that has to do with, technology. It saves us unnecessary stress. I told you something that, even down to our armed forces, everything, Nigerian police. I told you last week, I said, I went to a renowned police, what to call it, police station, right? Or police department. And I saw a particular place where documents were piled. You could see the whole place is looking so stuffy
and untidy.
Now, in the next 10 years, I don't think some of those, documents you can read what is written there. We need to everything e-procurement. We need everything
should be digitalized.
Digitalized. You go to some offices. Let me tell you, it will reduce wastage.
Of course.
I give you an example. There are some organizations, I wouldn't want to call their names, but go there and find out. Just go behind, their office complex. You will see cars. OJ, you will see expensive cars rotting away there. Rain come sun. Nobody's using it. And for crying out loud, when a particular governor is leaving office, or a minister that did not even serve up to 1 year is leaving office, they will scrape everything in that office, sell the chairs, remove the ACs, and buy new one again.
And this
is
the
government
process,
money we are talking about
government
here.
money, and this equipment that will be replaced does not actually pass through the due process, and that is where the issue of this procurement we are discussing about comes in.
Yes,
because they will just exaggerate the prices of all these things.
You're even talking about exaggeration. Exaggeration is even
now they are affecting the people.
As exaggeration comes with forgery,
of course,
they work hand in hand. They can call one Chukwuemeka and Sons and say,
how do you sell your AC?
No, put to 250.
Yeah.
You know, but with e-transmission, those things will stop. We're even talking about changing what is still, in good use. OJ, when you go to some offices, you see a brand new chair nobody has ever sat upon, because a new minister is coming, allegedly, or a new governor is coming, they change everything, and that one goes down the drain. Sometimes they even pack it and dump it somewhere, and you see these things spoiling. Now, with e-transmission, certain of these things will be vetted properly. We're going to vet everything. Why are you buying this? We just bought a chair last week. We should stop this wastage.
No, even if you want to buy those things, if need be, let it be at the right price. Are you getting it now?
Yes.
Let it be at the right price. Something that is 100,000 naira, you put 1 million. You understand? Like, let me quote what the Vice President said on the 30th of January on this issue of this procurement in a public function. He said that this e-procurement system that this current administration is introducing, you understand, is now part of the present administration core governance system. Okay? Part of it, that the manner in which public resources are transformed into roads, hospitals, schools, security infrastructure, and social services is under its control. So if everything is done in a digital way, okay, everything is done, in such a way that follows due process. You have the schools, you have the roads, you have the
and you can trace anything,
and you can trace them.
You can trace how the funds moves.
Because
IT does not lie.
Yeah, so I think it's a good thing that the government is seeing issue of e-procurement as part of core government policy now, than the way it used to be before. You raised the issue of the local governments when we had in our last segment.
Yes.
This issue of procurement is a crisis in the local government level also.
Big one, OJ.
So that's why you see some public officers who want to be procurement officers wherever they go.
They pay heavily, they lobby heavily to get there.
Yes, I want to be the procurement officer. A procurement officer in any office, in any organization,
is a big man.
It's a big man, big woman, where things are not done properly. Because if they have the open check, especially when if they have that open check to buy anything for the office, then of course that organization.
I don't even see why
they reach themselves.
I don't even see why a procurement officer should have bulk of files in his office. I went to one of those ministries, quote me anywhere, and I visited one of the directors of procurement. I went to his office and I looked around. OJ, a whole room was dedicated for files, paper. And I asked myself, if there's any fire outbreak, what happens?
What happens? They'll tell you documents have been destroyed. And sometimes when corruption has taken place in such offices, what they do, allegedly, like, let me even use your word, allegedly. They set fires on these offices to destroy evidence.
And somebody will come up and make
a all evidence have been destroyed. There's nothing we can do about it. But if everything is done digitally, if you like, burn down this building.
Of course, there's a backup.
There's a backup.
There's a backup device somewhere.
Yes.
That you can go and just connect to the laptop. And then, you see, you go to some places, like in the hospitals. Let's talk about the hospitals.
Even the hospitals.
You in procurement there. Who accounts for the number of hospital beds? Medicine. What company is supplying what? I have found myself in a situation where my wife was admitted in a particular respected, quote and unquote, hospital in this city. And they were injecting her a particular what's drug that has no proper company label, antibiotics. And it got to a time my stomach started swelling up. OJ, guess what? It was a retired nurse who was my neighbor that came to that hospital and somehow came to pay, visit to me to condole with me that my wife is not feeling fine. And somehow her eyes went straight to the table where the drugs were kept as a nurse. And she picked up one of the medicine and looked at it and said, this antibiotic is not branded. It's not properly branded. What's happening? That I should stop, that this medicine, I should tell them to stop giving it to my wife. And I went and I listened to her. Thank God I listened to her. As at then, when I was talking to you, her stomach was already big. She was already reacting. The liver was already reacting. I'm telling you facts what happened to me.
So maybe the procurement officer
who bought that drug?
Who bought that drug? And
who supplied? Was it his cousin, his friend?
And if you trace very well, that drug may be more expensive than the original drug.
Immediately we stopped that drug, OJ, my wife urinated for like in the next 1 week and everything went flat. They said I should sign what they call, is it lemma or I opted out of treatment? I said, yes, I was going to sign it. And I signed. And in the next 1 week, so these are the issues. Procurement can also preserve lives, e-procurement, because everything will be detailed. Like you read there, everything will be profiled. You don't just award supplies to anybody because you can manipulate one or two. Anybody can bear anything and go and print one document somewhere and come and say that I am so and so Nigerian Limited and then supply what, and then Nigerians will,
be suffering for it.
Now, even when we go to food, procurement too.
Procurement is in every facet of our lives.
It's
everywhere. So somebody who just want to be the procurement officer of whatever, like this food you are talking about, for instance, go ahead with it.
Food. Somebody can just, bring a particular, let's go to NAFDAC. Whether I like it or not, NAFDAC, by extension, is also helping us to also certify who is bringing what. What is this? How much is it bought into? SON, sorry. SON. SON can also help us. Standard in pricing. I don't know which organization is responsible for the control of pricing. Why are we selling this? Sometimes I just wonder who determines what in our markets.
We actually don't have price control in Nigeria.
You see food.
Yes.
Procurement in food. People bring all kinds of things ejected, not well treated, not suitable for our health. And today we have a lot of cancer patients.
Okay.
20 years down the line before now, OJ, cancer was not as rampant as it used to be now. It's still part of this procurement we're talking about. Because procurement entails not just in pricing, not just in money, including standards. What are you selling to Nigerians?
No, but the issue of procurement is the way at which people who are involved in procurement in government institutions or government coffers operate before now is one of the reasons why we are where we are. You understand? We have projects here and there, roads, road constructions.
That's another problem. Procurement.
Yes, you understand?
In fact, you just hit something that strike me.
Yes, and these procurement officers are the reasons why you see inflated budgets for these road constructions that is unending. They'll approve a certain amount of money for construction of a particular kilometers of road. When the contractors are there, after 2-3,
you are talking about
maybe after 1 year, the contract will stop because of what extra
no funds
anymore, or the money budget
funds are supposed to build 30 kilometers we will not even get up to 15 kilometers.
OJ,
you are even talking about
procurement issues.
You are even talking about over bloated budget. What of substandard materials?
That is the issue, and these substandard materials will cost us
collapse buildings
as much as
you see buildings collapsing.
Yeah, yes.
You're supposed to use 16 mm rod of so standard, and somebody goes there to buy 12 mm rod to deck 10-story building.
Yes, the 12 mm rod is the rate at which you buy the 16 rods. And
So-
who are those responsible
Well-
for this? The procurement officers.
We're talking. You are emphasizing on rate. I'm also emphasizing on standards.
Standards.
Because both of them play a serious role when it
Yes.
comes to procurement.
Yes.
Procurement, yes, is not just trying to save cost, to also save life.
Like save lives.
Save life.
Yeah.
Because when you buy substandard medicine and supply them to our healthcare systems, hospitals in the villages, people will die. So it's part of procurement. Man-on-man approach, man, go and supply Panadol. In fact, like, there was a story that was told that a man was giving people a particular soft drink. I don't want to call the name of the company, and was putting inside the spoon as blood tonic. And people queued up in the village.
Mm.
And they were drinking it. Spoon, you line up, you take, and the man was telling them this is blood tonic. And people were drinking it with the belief that truly it was blood tonic. He bought that thing, yes. And so procurement in the sense that here, what I'm trying to say that apart from hiking prices in procurement, that will save cost for us. It's what of standards? Vehicles, you buy refurbished vehicles, and they put it for brand new vehicles. And somebody goes there and buys and says he has supplied 20 hillocks to so ministry. And when you go see those hillocks, they are refurbished, but it's been procured, as brand new hillocks.
Yes.
These are issues. Substandard versus what? Over bloated budget.
Yes.
So it's either way, it's a dangerous thing. So it's a welcome development, and I want to commend President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I want to commend this government for taking this bold initiative. I also want to add that in as much as we are trying to apply this initiative to mop up and streamline corruption and wastages, I also want to believe that the money should also be judiciously used at that level.
And the first thing is, having professionals in procurement, like recently,
Exactly.
like you heard, about 2,100 certified procurement officers recently graduated from the training. So at least, government should continue to bring up this kind of programs so that we'll continue to have certified procurement officers in Nigeria.
Yes.
So that once you are a certified procurement officer,
you could lose your license for doing the wrong thing.
For doing the wrong thing. You understand? So everything should be in line with what is
global best practice.
Yes, what it entails globally in other climes and all that. And I think with this move, our procurement system in the country will be a thing that everyone will be proud of. And the good thing is that this training also attracted foreigners, other foreign nationals who came to also to be part of this training. And at the end of the day, they're also certified as true procurement officers in the country. So our procurement system needs to be strengthened. Our procurement system need to be in need to be in such a way that foreign investors will begin to trust our system, because if we have certified procurement officers, we begin to see all these foreign investors coming to say, okay, now, we trust the system, we know the people we are dealing with are not just fake or ghost contractors, as it were, and so on and so forth.
A lot of ghost contractors.
We have a lot of ghost contractors operating in our system. But with this certified, system of enhancing our procurement system,
even ghost workers too.
That will be a topic for another day. We have
everything is ghosts.
Yes, we have ghost workers, ghost whatever,
contractors, ghosts, even ghost logistics. You say they bought. You said somebody will come and announce 2,000 cameras were purchased for the use.
It's still part of the procurement issue that we're
even the forthcoming election. INEC is demanding for over 1 trillion. We should subject them to this e-procurement as well.
Okay, yeah, because they have to buy equipment for the.
Let's see the equipment. Not reported situation. Yes. Let's see it. Oh, back in the days we hear, we bought so number of this, so number of that, and they just read it out on a paper for you. Nobody's going there to check if it is true. Now elections is 1.something trillion. That's a lot. Yes. So with this initiative, we'll start seeing it even from INEC. Let's see the beavers. Let's see number of election materials deployed. Let's see
Yes.
the truck. Let's see everything. Let people be held accountable for our for our money.
All right. So that's about it on this segment on the issue of lawmakers mandating full e-government procurement system in Nigeria. Now, before we finally go on this topic, unfortunately, we don't have a legal framework for it yet. Yeah, we don't have a legal framework for it. Lawmakers are mandating for this to happen, but there is no law as we speak guiding it. So it is now incumbent on the National Assembly to bring up a bill to make government procurement system to be legalized, so that everything will work accordingly the way we want it to work. So we'll be going for a quick break, and when we return, we'll dive into our next conversation, and of course, it will be on the issue of health. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to the P&B morning show right here on Politics and Business Television, Abuja. Streaming Omike Joseph Murphy. Now, today we turn our attention to a silent crisis that continues to shape the future of our continent's malnutrition. Across Africa, particularly in sub-Saharan Africa, millions of women and children are caught in what experts describe as a dual burden. Now, on one hand, undernutrition, marked by stunting, wasting, and long-term national stability. So the question is no longer whether malnutrition is a problem, it is how urgently and strategically we respond to it. So this morning, that's why I want to look at the issue of addressing malnutrition in Nigeria. We're supposed to have a health expert, a nutritionist, to be precise, to look at this. But we need to have our guest. But while we wait for our guest, let's quickly dive into it. So Chidi Kenneth is still with me. And Chidi Kenneth, the issue of malnutrition in Africa, Nigeria to be precise, is a health crisis, a huge problem that we are confronting that is not usually in the front pages of newspaper. We don't really talk much about this issue, much, but it's a problem, a
Big one,
huge
OJ.
problem.
Big one, OJ. Okay, OJ, let me just do a graph of of how this thing works. Now, excuse me, malnutrition is an offshoot of poverty.
Yes.
One, malnutrition is also shows that we don't have food security. And now this is a very big issue. Consider the fact that we are mostly known for for agriculture. So why are we having malnutrition? And what is malnutrition? When a child is not eating well, let's just break it down in layman's understanding. There are homes today where you see a child eating what we call eba in the morning, eba in the afternoon, and eba in the night. The child has not seen meat, no element of protein to balance the nutrition. The body requires some level of protein, minerals to grow, for the skin to function very well. For example, fruits. You eat fruits like pawpaw, contains a lot of mineral content, more than even 100 times more than apple. It's a fact. And some people have not even seen these fruits to eat. So when a child is not eating very well as a result of poverty, he is not sure of the next meal, or as a result of shortage of the feeding timetable. For example, these days, those days we used to know what they call 1-1-1. But these days we have 0-0-1
or 0-1-1 if you are lucky. You understand?
If you are lucky. Now, what is the cause of 1-0-1, 0-1-1, 1-1? It's poverty.
It's poverty. Now, with these statistics coming from the United Nations that an estimated 2 million children in Nigeria suffer from severe acute malnutrition. Nigeria is the giant of Africa. About 2 million children, suffering from acute malnutrition. I was recently in one of the northern states, Kebbi State to be precise. I saw this before my eyes.
Even in Zamfara, where I serve.
You understand? I saw this before my eyes, seeing stunted children as a result of malnutrition. And this is the geopolitical zone where we have this issue. We
have predominant
states.
Farmers. And we have farmers.
No, but you see, the problem with malnutrition is this. Like you rightly said, when a child is being fed with one kind of
carbohydrate food,
one kind of food nutrient, which is which you just mentioned, carbohydrate. In the morning, you eat a carbohydrate related food. In the afternoon, like that, it causes that. So I went there, I saw stunted children, and I asked, what could be this? What could be the reason? And I was told it's as a result of malnutrition. And what causes it? Somebody who is not wealthy enough. You don't have enough money. You married 3-4 wives, and then you now have plenty children.
You are taking me down to the factors.
Yes,
one of the major factors of malnutrition in the north, especially in the north, with due respect, another part of Nigeria, insecurity. Okay, look at now. Me and you, 15, 20 years ago, we don't even know what is called IDP camp.
Yes.
But today we have IDP camps everywhere. Caused by what? Insecurity. The farmers can no longer go to farms to farm very well.
Yes.
And farm certain farm produce that can, give us good nutrients. So insecurity is a big factor. It's a problem contributing to this malnutrition.
Because the mothers don't have enough food to feed their children.
OJ, you see these days people cook food without onions. And do you know what onions give to the body? People cook food, no meat. A kilo of meat now is almost close to 9,000. And we have cattle everywhere, roaming on the streets.
Newborn nursing mothers don't have enough milk because they don't eat well.
Go to the streets, even here in Abuja. You see a woman breastfeeding a baby, and she's as skinny as anything, no food. And you look at her plate, where you see the food, no oil. And, for example, the palm oil that is rich in vitamin A that can help the sight. And before you know, these people start going blind. Fish. We have enough waters, enough rivers everywhere. Why are we not getting these fish to put in their food, at least to add protein. Insecurity, poverty everywhere. And here we keep talking about malnutrition, and sometimes it falls on deaf ears. People don't even listen.
That is what I say. It is underreported. That is, and it's a serious, health issue in this country. Estimated 2 million children in Nigeria.
How did we get there?
How did we get there? You just mentioned
insecurity is one of them.
Insecurity is one of them. They cannot go to farm. They don't have enough to eat. They are in the IDP camps. That is why even in the streets of Abuja, you see them begging. Now, for instance, Nigeria is now the second highest burden of stunted children in the world.
Why wouldn't we be stunted? OJ, let me give you for example. Even not just stunted, even the way you reason. Sugar helps the brain to develop. Beans helps you to grow. Protein. In fact, those days when I was small, and I was there, I sustained injuries, and I didn't know I've started bleeding. I didn't even know. So before I know, everywhere was healed up. So I went to ask her. The next day, everywhere was dried up. It was healing fast, and they said, you have enough protein in your body, and that's why I got to know the importance of protein. So I started liking beans. They used to tell us those days, OJ, when we were small, that if you're not tall, it's because you don't eat beans. So my younger brother was eating beans very well. And OJ, funny enough, today he's even taller than all of us. So, even though I don't know, we don't have a fact to that, but, we were meant to understand the importance of protein. As a child, even in
eating balanced diet, generally.
Balanced diet, in a funny way.
Yes.
But that's to tell us the importance of protein.
Now, according to nutritionists, they said the first 1,000 days in the life of a child matters a lot. The first 1,000 days matters a lot. So that is like 2 years now. That's why it's been encouraged for mothers to continue to breastfeed their children for 6 months.
Exclusive
breastfeeding. But in Nigeria, how many mothers can breastfeed for the next 6 months when you don't have money? You just mentioned that you've seen mothers, breastfeeding mothers on the street of Abuja, breastfeeding her child, and she's looking skinny. Before you can breastfeed your child, you must have eaten now.
Not just eat.
Yes, you must.
It's not just to eat. Eat good food.
You eat good food so that you get enough milk to feed the child. Now you've not eaten enough. The child will not get a good breast to suck. You understand? And that is where we continue to have this issue of malnutrition in our society, in a country that is endowed with mineral resources.
When you talk about endowed with mineral resources, when you talk about states like Benue State, where we see fruits being wasted, do you know that eating fruits alone has the capacity to boost your immune system more than any other thing? Some fruits are even antibiotics themselves. And we have these fruits not being properly harnessed.
Yes.
Wasting everywhere. And I wonder sometimes why we should be buying some things very expensive in this country. When you're some part of the country, you go there. In fact, I was discussing with a friend of mine, a lady who is from Benue State, and I said, you travel, you didn't bring yam. He said, bros, yam is very expensive down in Benue State. I said, why? Yeah, the food basket of Nigeria. Those days when I visited Zakibi and I saw pyramid of yams. What happened?
Is the issue of the insecurity at all?
And he said, I said, farmers can no longer go to farm.
They can no longer go to farm, of course.
So we cannot be crying in malnutrition, and we're not tackling. Just yesterday again, that was it yesterday, we just had an attack again in one state. In fact, statistics had it that Kebbi State alone can produce rice that can feed the whole country.
I've been in Kebbi. I last year I was in Kebbi, and I can see that for myself. Sugarcane, rice, and all that. But
yams.
But today Kebbi State is in the news for the wrong reasons. Attack here and there. Just yesterday also, the Lakurawa bandits attacked, Muslims who are out there in the evening to break their
praying
fast.
To their God.
You understand? To break their fast and all that. So the issue of insecurity is actually, affecting, such areas where we have this problem of malnutrition. And now all the villages being attacked will be emptied now because everybody will run from the village and they'll become, IDPs in their own domain as a result of this issue of insecurity. And who suffers it? The children and the women.
Another cause of malnutrition is underdevelopment. Now, OJ, why do I say underdevelopment? Where are the roads to transport farm produce from the farms to the cities? There was a time I was going to buy a particular, farm produce in the market, and I was told, it's not, okay, it don't cost now. I said, why? He said there is no motor to transport it, that it is wasting over there in the north. OJ, you go to buy a goat in the east, it's almost as expensive as a motorbike. And you go far away in the north, OJ is very cheap. Goat, and you see, these are the issues. Underdevelopment. We don't even have good roads to even access the food, to even transport the food for people to eat.
Yeah, for people to eat.
We have a lot of fruits, medicinal fruits, herbs that can help us cure a lot of things out there in the bushes. Nothing to move them to the city. No roads.
So what can the government do to address this issue?
The government will do these things we are saying. These things are not rocket science, OJ. Rural roads, rural electrification to also preserve some of these things too.
And solve the issue of insecurity. Because if the farmers can go to farm, they'll have enough to feed their families. And by so doing, we'll not have this issue. So,
tomatoes alone, OJ, look at tomatoes.
Yes.
Rotting away in the bush. Farmers will harvest, no vehicle to move them to the city. Pepper, onions, ginger, cucumber.
Because when they go to sell this produce, they can use the money to buy other things for themselves. If you are a pepper farmer, you go and sell, you'll be able to have enough cash to buy other food items to go and feed your family.
So underdevelopment is key.
Underdevelopment is also
then you now come to the issue of a government policy
to address this.
Yes, the political will is another cause of malnutrition, poverty, bad governance. That is the father of it all. Bad governance is the father of it all. When you have a governor, in fact, if all the governors surrounding FCT, if they are doing very, very well, nobody will come to Abuja. You have supermarkets, you have good markets, you have good roads, you have good farms. What stops us from having state farms where we can farm? We have the land, the land mass is there. States like Niger State have enough land mass to feed the whole of North Central.
Yes.
Benue State. Governments should start channel. I think I learned that the governor of Niger State is doing something in that regard too.
Agriculture, yes, of course.
We have governments to invest in farms. Farm beans. One of the reasons why beans crashed this year, I told somebody that last year, every empty space, empty land I saw were off cultivated. So I was not surprised to buy beans 700 naira. I was telling my wife, I said, look, the way I'm seeing people farming beans everywhere, cultivating beans everywhere, beans is going to crash. Because at some point we bought beans 3,000 naira. Can a poor man remove 3,000 naira to buy what they call a mudu? Is it mudu they call it?
This measurement
this bowl.
Yes.
How many people in IDP? Have you been to IDP camps? People cooking no oil? Because the cost of palm oil. So bad governance is the father of it all. Before you even mention insecurity.
So let's now look at the solutions as we try to wrap up this segment. You see, what can the government do? Like you said, you profile some solutions. But apart from the government, what can citizens do? What can organizations like all these NGOs? Is there any way they can help in solving this major problem we have in the country, where close to 2 million children are stunted as a result of malnutrition? Remember, we've not even talked about this issue of stuntness, because malnutrition causes stuntness, right? And then it also causes what we call wasting. Do you know what wasting is now? Wasting is a situation where a child, yes, is not stunted as a result of malnutrition, but because of acute malnutrition, now he or she is tall, is okay, is not stunted, okay, but because at a particular stage in life, the child does not have enough food to eat. So now, while the child is okay in height,
it's underperforming,
but does not have the weight, okay, because of lack of food.
The child is light.
Thank you. The child is light, looking skinny, okay, and you can easily find such situation in IDP camps. It's still the issue of insecurity. You still raise a child who was feeding very well before in his or her village,
chased away from his house,
chased away from
his comfort zone,
location, and are now in IDP camps, no food to eat. You see them.
What about insecurity? Bad governance. So you can see the chain like
yes,
from bad governance, snowballs to insecurity, snowballs down to poverty. They are all brothers and sisters. So the head of it all is bad governance. Political will. Some people in government, some don't have conscience. And they go to this IDP camp to promise them to, enough of giving these little arms and go to make lofty promises. Solve this problem.
All this is for political. So some of them go there just for political reasons, or just carry some cartons of.
You keep going there with cartons
of noodles. Some cartons of noodles and what have you, go and spread.
And is give you 5,000 naira.
Is that what they will eat for the next 1 month?
Some of them are even using it. I'm telling you.
Take the cameramen and to go and show that.
Have you not seen IDP camp with polling units?
Of course.
Polling units inside IDP camp. What are you voting? Polling units. And you mentioned something again that I did not talk about. Overnutrition, or is it SS nutrition also has its own
yes, overnutrition, yes.
Has its own health implications.
Yes.
There are people who, in the name of trying to experiment all kinds of things, junks and the rest of it, and at the end of the day, you end up with cancer.
Yes, of course.
You end up with cancer.
You don't eat balancely. There's not balanced diet.
You eat everything
you see. Junk food.
Junk food.
Yes. You don't cook your food.
You don't cook your food. Nothing organic anymore.
Not organic.
Those days our mothers used to have at the back of the house. You go there, you see fresh porcupine, fresh water leaf, and they just plug it and make soup for you, and you eat, and you see them getting up to 80, 90 years. These days, everything is being fertilized with all kinds of chemicals to preserve.
And these people, they tell you, when you see them, they think they are enjoying, they think they are eating.
Yes.
Now, at the end of the day, they become obese. Obesity setting.
Everything is canned. You see somebody eating bread in the night with all kinds of. I don't want to start calling names. I don't want to sell any product here. And you see, you eat these things every time in the name of. There's this thing that annoys me that is trending now. We call it in our local parlance here, ajebo. You see, every woman wants his child to look what we call ajeboish.
Yes, to look good.
Not even looking good, look stupid. In my own language, because sometimes when you grow big, so big, and you don't even, some of them you go close to them, they're not even smart mentally. Nothing organic in their system.
Yes, that is the problem now, because now we were talking malnutrition. What does malnutrition causes? It causes stuntness, right? It causes wasting. That we just and then the other one, which is the overnutrition. Overnutrition.
You don't even have common sense.
You don't have common sense because it's lack of common sense. Are you getting? Because all you know is to eat food, eat.
It's all kind
of junk food, and in this
uncontrolled.
Case, you understand?
You don't even see somebody who ran into a particular product when we were playing football and just was trying to read what is behind the product and discovered that the preservative in that product is also used to preserve certain things I wouldn't want to mention, so I will not scare anybody. And the man was like, "Oh, and my child has been eating this thing." Was it not last year that some noodles company were shut down somewhere in the east? NAFDAC did a yeoman's job. A lot of products were shut down last year. And people keep eating this particular noodles morning, afternoon, night. What happens to our organic food? What happens to it?
Look, for those who fall into the category of overnutrition, you understand? I think our attention should not be there to. I think just sensitization they need and what have you. So, but the
Yeah,
focus,
you have too much money. That's why you can.
you have too much money. You have access to food. That's why you can have
You
that.
can just model
you
it up
have
and eat
that crisis as a result of overnutrition. But the people who are, of course, the focus is those under the issue, under the malnutrition category, where they are human beings like every one of us. You understand? They should have, they should have access to the basic needs of life, which is number one is what? Food. Are you getting it?
Yes.
Food, which is every human being. If you are alive, you should be able to at least eat 3 times a day. Okay, now considering our economic
3 good mix, well, that's nutritional value.
Yes,
not just 3 times of eba.
Yeah,
let me use the word. We call it eba in our local parlance.
Yes.
If AJ, as you are now, if you eat eba in the morning, eba in the afternoon, eba in the night without meat,
yes,
for 1 month, OJ, if you appear here, even your viewers will run away.
Of course, you understand. So you see women who are looking so pale. You know they are actually suffering as a result of the economic situation, and you see them with babies, nursing mothers who cannot, eat themselves. Then for
how much more breastfeed a baby?
Breastfeed a baby, and when you see their baby, they look so
malnourished.
What can we do? What can we do as citizens? What can we do as government? What can we do as philanthropists? What can we do as individuals to address this problem in our society? To make sure that Nigeria is not known as the second country in the world with stunted children. You see a child looks 3, but you don't know that child is 8 years old.
8
or 12 years old. You see a child, you
is 8 years is fair. You go to some states, like some state within the North Central, especially, with due respect, you see a child of 15 years looking like 5 years old child.
Yes. By the time how old are you? Say 15, you will be shocked.
You will be doubting.
You'll be doubting.
Even the way the child talks.
Yes.
Everything about the child is stunted. It's not just in the growth in terms of height. In everything you can think of.
Yes.
And that same child will carry heavy plastic rubbers to go and fetch water without food. So the little food that is supposed to help the child to even grow, when then he now puts the heavy rubber on his head and trek miles, where will the growth come?
All right. So we just have to go.
No, you're talking about the solution, OJ. You didn't.
Okay, the solution. Yes.
The solution, because we cannot just say all this. Number one, OJ, we need to do more campaign on good governance. We'll keep hitting it on the heads of our leaders, because it is the mother of it all. I told somebody that money has no definition. What defines money is the hands that is holding it. Leadership is not the office. Leadership is the person. It is who you are that reflects in your style of leadership. If you're a good man, your system of leadership becomes good. See, every president we've had in this country, whether you like it or not, who they represent as a person snowballs into the way they lead. You can't separate it. So it is not, even in a family, you can have 10 fathers, but 10 of them don't behave the same way. They don't approach things the same way. We have fathers who don't pay children's school fees. They have as soon as they collect their salaries, they go down there. And we have fathers who take family issues as priority. And it starts from the family, because the family is the smallest unit of the society. And this is where we produce our leaders. So our leaders is a replica, is a type and shadow, is a reflection of the kind of people that we produce. You cannot give what you don't have. If we don't like what we are seeing in our leaders today, we should change it from the way we vote. Look, elections is coming on Saturday. Somebody will come and give you 10 kg of rice, and the next 4 years you'll be hungry.
And as you are hungry,
and you are shouting malnutrition.
Shouting malnutrition. At the end of the day, it's malnutrition.
you have malnourished yourself.
Yes.
You've eaten your destiny for 4 years. You know that Mr. Lagbaja will become a better leader than Mr. Chukwudi. But because he's not your brother, tribalism, religious bigotry everywhere. These things have a way of shaping, reflecting on this whole thing we're talking about.
Yes.
Because when you choose a bad leader, you have no business than you that is voting that bad leader, you that is campaigning for that bad leader, you are the problem.
Okay, Achidi, I will just have to go on this. And you have spoken a lot. It all boils down to good
So election is on Saturday. OJ, encourage them.
We'll talk about that shortly.
Encourage. I need you to encourage Abuja residents.
Yes, they are watching. So we'll talk about that in the GP. So the issue of malnutrition in the country is it's a resource of concern that the media need to talk about, and so that the government would also look at that. So that we have close to about 2 million children, suffering from this. In this day and age is not a good news at all. It's not a good news at all. So we want to go for a quick break. When we return, we'll look at one or two issues before we wrap up the program. So please do stay with us. We'll be right back. Okay, you're welcome back to the morning show right here on Politics, I beg your pardon, and Business Television, reaching live from the nation's capital, Abuja. Now, talking about the nation's capital, Abuja, there will be restriction tonight, beginning from tonight to tomorrow. And the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, in person of His Excellency Nyesom Wike, has, of course, given that directive that from 8 p.m. tonight to 6 p.m. tomorrow, there will be restrictions, vehicular restrictions, okay? As a result of what? As a result of the council polls election coming up tomorrow, Saturday. So let's quickly dive into that before we go. Now, INEC is set to test the 2026 Electoral Act in the FCT.
Brand new.
Yes, the council polls. And also tomorrow, some by-elections will be happening in Rivers and in Kano State simultaneously. So, but our focus is the FCT. And so what do you expect from the elections tomorrow? As we get prepared for the council polls?
All right, OJ, your guess is as good as mine. Excuse me. Like I said earlier on, that the campaign this time around was vigorous. It was, it was top notch. Unlike before, it was low key like that, and before we know, the elections has come and gone. We don't even know how many registered voters, who voted and where did not vote. There's no noise. But this time around, the noise is huge. People are beginning to be aware. People are beginning to take the bull by the horn. Yesterday, I told you that the campaigns ended at about 9 to 9:30 in the night. Not just yesterday, even the day before yesterday. Come and see former Vice President Atiku was involved. Come and see Peter Obi. Come and see even the Minister of Sports, El Rufai. Government top functionaries going to the street, walking on their foot, house to house, shop to shop, talking to people.
Yes.
Amechi went to Lugbe Market and was talking to people like that. For Abuja local council elections. And that goes to show that tomorrow, by the grace of God, we should be seeing a lot of turnout. People, the awareness is high like never before. So tomorrow, what we're expecting to see is to see people coming out in mass to vote.
All right. Okay. So that's what will be happening tomorrow in Abuja, talking about the council election. And there will be coverage of that election right here on Politics and Business Television, and we hope that you join us tomorrow for on the spot, coverage of the event come tomorrow. So on this note, I want to say that thank you for watching the program, and I want to thank the production team for doing a very wonderful job today. And today happens to be the last edition of the P&B Morning Show for the week. And so join us on Monday for another edition. God bless you. I am Omike Joseph Matthew, and
I am Chidi Kenneth. Do have a wonderful day ahead.
Have a wonderful day.